Nigeria, stand up. Nigeria, stand up. Join me, say, yeah. What a great nation. Oh, 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 yeah. Ooh.
Thank you. Thank you very much, the IT team. That's such a beautiful song to kickstart our conversation today. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the meeting today. As you know, today is World NGOs Day, and for us in the non-profit space, it literally feels like it's our birthday. So if you know anyone working in the non-profit space, you can go ahead and send them a happy birthday. And when they ask you why, just say it's World NGOs Day. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining in today. And I'm not doing this alone. I have fantastic people working in other non-profits that will be having these conversations with me. My name is Anebiet Udolkang, and I'm excited to be the host for today's conversation. And just before we get started and I introduce you to my lineup of fantastic speakers, I like to know where you're joining us from. So let's just take a moment in the comment section. Tell us your name, tell us where you're joining from. And if you work in the NGO space, please kindly tell us the name of your organization and what you do. We'd like to give you a very big shout out from here. So I'd just like to get to meet us now in the comment section. Please tell us your name and where you're joining us from. Oh, yes, Ebi Michael from Lagos. Thank you for joining, Ebi Michael. I can see Oluwatosin as well. Thank you for joining us today. We're super excited to be having this conversation. So, this is an opportunity for us to talk about the work that we do in the nonprofit space, the impact of our work, and how we intend to achieve the SDGs together as nonprofit. Yes, Oluwatosin, thank you for joining us from Kaduna. Hi. Ibrahim, joining from Sokoto. Thank you very much for joining us today. So let's keep the introductions coming. And if we have anyone who is in the nonprofit space, please kindly mention the name of your nonprofit and what you do. And would like to give you a very big shout out from here. Yo, thank you for joining, Ellen. Good afternoon, Douglas from Kenya. Aha, I can see you. Good morning. Center for Development, Advancement and Development in Zamfara. Well done. This is from all of us at Leap Africa. A big shout out and congratulations for all the amazing work you do. Thank you very much for joining us today. And I can also see Augustina Bassi joining us from all the way from Abuja. Thank you for joining us today. Today promises to be such an insightful conversation. And like I had mentioned earlier, today is just an opportunity for us to thank you, our friends, our partners, our colleagues, and our supporters in the NGO space for always joining and partnering with us to ensure that we reach our goal and our impact is well felt across the globe. Thank you very much for joining. Ooh, I can see you, Mba from Lagos, Dr. Chukwukalu Foundation. Amazing. So, from all of us here, big shout out and happy World NGO Day. I can see Buluatife Ajayi, and you work with Nigerian Youth SDG, which is a non-profit. From all of us at Leap Africa, happy World NGO Day. Oh, yes, I can see one from Baobab for Women's Human Rights Abuja. Haruna, happy World NGO Day from all of us at Deep Africa. And if we say happy birthday, trust me, we're really saying happy birthday because this feels like it's our birthday already. Yes, for all of us in the non-profit, today feels like it's our birthday. So please go ahead and treat yourself to some nice cake, And if you have a friend in a non-profit, today is a great time to send them gifts, thoughtful messages, just cheering them on because everyone in the non-profit is doing such an amazing job. And I can see you, Mohamed Umar, joining from Samfara. Thank you very much. And shout out from all of us. Woo! I see a volunteer from Lagos Food Bank. Thank you for dedicating your time to ensure. Woo! And I see Dr. John India, head of Helping Hands Foundation. Happy World NGO to you, Dr. John. Thank you for the amazing work that you do. Thank you so much, everyone. Oh, I can also see Philip Hopes from our Common Pot NGO. Thank you so much for the amazing work you do, and happy World NGO Day. I see Shola in Lagos, Fashion Revolution Nigeria. And I see here that Fashion Revolution is the world largest advocacy group for sustainability in the fashion industry. Amazing! Happy World NGO Day to you, Shola. Woo, I see another one from Lagos Food Bank. Wakel from Lagos Food Bank. Congratulations and happy World NGO Day. Thank you for the amazing, amazing work you do in the NGO space. And we celebrate you all. Thank you so much for joining us today. All right, so just so we kickstart the conversation and get into the actual reason why we're here, which is to talk about the impact of the NGO and how we are collectively driving and making progress towards achieving the SDG. I'll now like to introduce the communications and PR manager, Deep Africa, and she's going to give us the opening remarks. And after that, I'll come back and I'll show you the lineup of amazing speakers and panelists that I have for us to have this conversation today. Hi, Ellen. How are you? Good morning. How are you doing today?
Hello, Aniabet. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, and hear you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much. And good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. It is my immense pleasure to be here and to welcome you as someone who works in the nonprofit space. Like Aniabet said, today is our birthday. So this is a collective celebration. We're truly excited to be here and to share this day with everyone, particularly our colleagues in the nonprofit space. So welcome again. So Annie had charged me with delivering an opening remark, and it's with a lot of pride and a sense of unity that I would like to welcome you to this webinar to commemorate the World NGO Day. Today is not just a mark on the calendar, it's really a celebration of our spirit, our dedication, and the relentless efforts of nonprofit workers towards creating a better world. Today, as we even gather on this webinar, we're just here to honor the tireless work that we do, the unspoken sacrifices, and the shared successes of non-governmental organizations across the globe as we collectively put together our talents, our time, our efforts towards creating a more equitable world. Days like this are really built to acknowledge the diverse contributions that non-governmental organizations that are advocating for human rights, to delivering humanitarian aid, to fighting for environmental causes, to sustainability, to empowering the underprivileged. All these efforts, no matter the scale, from CSOs to multinationals, it all weaves into the fabric of our collective endeavor to uplift, to support, and to transform the world that we live in today. So as we reflect on our journey together, as we look forward with renewed vigor, with renewed hope, with commitment, the challenges that we face are many, but our resolve as change agents is unwavering. So together we would stand as a testament to the power of collective action. And because our united goal is what keeps us together to make a world a more justice, equitable, and peace-driven. They are not just ideals, but they are realities for us. So today, I just want to encourage us to rekindle our dedication to the work that we do, to celebrate our achievements and the impact that we have, and to inspire each other to new heights. So this is just me saying welcome and congratulations to non-governmental organizations across the world, and to all change agents and everyone who is putting in their own small bit into making the world a better place. Your work is important, your work is invaluable, and your impact is immeasurable. So thank you for being the change makers, the hope bringers, and the visionaries that we need. And just want to say happy World NGO Day. And today, as we celebrate and we reflect in conversations, I hope that this also inspires in you and gives you more wisdom and more strength and more courage to continue to lead in the change that you're working on. So thank you so much and welcome from all of us at Leap Africa.
Thank you so much, Ellen. And again, welcome from all of us at Leap Africa. Like I said earlier, it's our birthday today. If you're in the NGO space, please go ahead and blow out your candle and celebrate your achievements and your successes. You do such an amazing job, and your impact is felt all over the world. So today, just like Ellen had said, we are celebrating our united efforts in making the world a more peaceful, more equitable, and more fulfilling place to live in. So just before we kickstart our conversations, and like I mentioned, I'm going to introduce you to my panelists in a few moments, but we had gone into the streets of Lagos just to ask some people what they know about the SDG and the NGOs, and I'd like to show you shortly what some of the people we met in Lagos said.
Hi everyone! My name is Victoria and this is
Fifumi.
In commemoration of World NGO Day, we're on the streets of Lagos today to ask people what they know about NGOs and
the role of NGOs in the social space. Lego.
Non-governmental organization.
NGO is non-governmental organization.
Non-profit government organizations.
Non-government organizations.
Actually enhance the less privileged.
Raise awareness on human rights and defense of all different things that foster humanitarian development.
They help people, help the needy, yes, orphanages, needy and all of that.
NGOs, both the local and international ones, are non-profit companies that assist for the social welfare of people.
Sustainable developmental something. What's the G now? I've forgotten. I know there is SDG for education.
Sustainable development goals.
Bravo. Okay. Do you have an idea of what is called SDG or the full meaning of SDG?
No, I don't think I do.
Basically, we all know Nigeria and Africa as a whole. So the law of human rights abuse most especially for women and children. So NGOs should step up. We should not only wait for human rights organizations to do that. NGOs should pick up some issues, see changing issues online. NGOs should not wait until someone made a police complaint, or they should just basically children and women are suffering a lot. So NGOs should make sure that they have a particular target of audience they care for women and children. I think that would be along because women rarely speak up, but women speak up, so they should make sure that those are their priorities to take.
I think they should keep up the good work. It's really good. It's not easy to see people helping people around the world. Right now, everywhere is tense. There's pressure. People are suffering and all of that. So I think it's a good one, and I think they should keep up the good work. And God will definitely help them and set them free.
Thank you.
NGOs are doing actually a great hell of a job. Okay. They can be better in more aspects in their outreach campaigns and their visibility. That's what I can say. Okay, my first message to the local NGOs is that don't let your aim not be that you're just forming an NGO to rely on international NGOs for money. Let what you're doing be straightforward. Let it be objective. Let your aim be objective. Don't just go to an NGO to rely on the international for money. Secondly, for the international NGOs, your aim should be clear also, not coming to our country to use our money to deceive us, but solve the problem we have.
I will actually advise or tell them to continue that good work.
Okay.
There are some places that they're willing to visit.
Okay.
So looks and crownings in Nigeria that they're trying to visit to see more where they can be of help.
All right then.
Happy World NGO Day.
Happy World NGO Day.
Happy World NGO Day.
Happy World NGO Day.
Happy World NGO Day. We just want to say a huge well done to all the NGOs doing amazing work out there.
To learn more about NGOs and the work they do in the social impact space, join us on our upcoming webinar this February 27th and stay tuned to our page for more updates. Bye.
Bye.
Amazing. So, from the words on the streets in Lagos, happy World NGO Day. Please go ahead and celebrate yourself in the comment section. Tell somebody happy World NGO Day. Give yourself a pat on the back for doing such an impactful work. And because of you, the world is a better place. And our aim at achieving the SDGs are getting closer. And we're bridging the gap because you're here doing it for us and with us. Happy World NGO Day, people. All right, so about now, I'm excited to reveal to you the amazing people in other NGO space doing such an amazing and fantastic job. And in no particular order, I'd like you to meet the Communications Officer, Lagos Food Bank Initiative, Oluwa Fumilola. Hi, Fumilola, how are you doing today? Happy World NGO Day.
Hello, Annabeth. I'm fine,
How do
thank
you
you. How
feel?
are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. How do you feel today? Does it feel like your birthday? Do you have
Yes,
cakes
it
around
does.
you? Do you have candles? Are you in happy mood already?
Yes, we are. We have balloons.
I love it. I love to see that. Thank you very much, Pumi, for coming on the call and having this conversation with us.
Thank you for
And right
having
about
me.
now, you're welcome. So, right about now, we're just going to the team lead, Said Initiatives for Youth Development, GO Lawal. Hi, Lawal. How are you today? Do you have balloons and do you have cakes around you already? Because it's our birthday today. Hi, Lawal. Did you hear
Okay.
me?
Yes. Pardon me. I didn't unmute myself. So I said the way you started the introduction makes me feel as though today is my birthday already. Like I just feel like I should start receiving gifts right now. Yeah, thank you so much. And by the way, it is Seed Africa, actually not Said. So it doesn't feel like somebody's name. All right, thank you so much.
All
It's nice to be
right,
here.
thank you. Thank you very much, Laid from Seed Africa. Yes, it's your birthday already, so you can go ahead and start receiving gifts. Send us your gifts. Wish us a happy birthday because it is World NGO Day today. And I also have here program manager, Davatap Center for Africa Development, Emmanuel. So good to have you today. So, how do you feel already? Is it your birthday yet, or you're still waiting for us to give us more charges to get into the birthday mood?
Hi, I'm Beth. Thank you for hosting this call. I'm super excited. At least it's relieving. Some organizations are frontliners. Some organizations try to celebrate others, but maybe don't have time themselves to celebrate themselves. And it's heartwarming to know that there's a World NGOs Day where we could share about the work we do and also get our own balloons as well. So thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
It's so good to have you here. Thank you very much for accepting to come on the call with us and having the conversation today. And finally, but not the least in any way, I have Senior Communications Officer, Emerging Leaders Foundation Africa, and I have Mr. James. Hi, Mr. James. How are you feeling today? Do you have the candles lit already? Do you have the balloons? Because it is our birthday, so I can see you all smiles already. But how are you feeling today? And are you excited about this?
Hi, Anibet, and hi to everybody from Nairobi. Indeed, we are excited. I am excited about the World NGO Day, and all of us here at TLF Africa take a lot of pride in this day just to celebrate the resilience and relentless effort of all the non-state actors in Africa, particularly. So thank you again for hosting us today.
Thank you. So there you have it, my amazing panelists who will be joining me on this conversation about NGO impact and our work towards advancing and achieving the SDGs. Now, before we get started, I have a quick question for you, and you can just put your answer in the comment. It's an SDG question. So let's see how many of us are going to get it right. So just I'm only going to call the first person to answer my question, and I hope you're already on your keypad already and ready to answer the question. So, who is ready for me? Rose. Now, which sustainable development goal, also known as SDG, focuses on ensuring access to clean water and sanitation for all by 2030. Let's see. Who is going to be our winner for today? Still looking out. Woo! I've got a winner. Tolupe, thank you very much. It is SDG 6. I see that I already have SDG champions in the room. Thank you so much, everyone. Now let's get started on our conversation. And I'm just going to ask my panelists in no particular order, but I'm going to like to start with Mr. James. So, Mr. James, I know we went on the streets of Lagos and then we asked people what is NGO, and they said non-governmental organization. Some people said some other things, but as someone who is working in the NGO space, what comes to mind when you hear the word NGO?
What comes to my mind when I hear NGO is alternative solutions, because primarily as societies are set, solutions are designed to come from those who have positions of leadership or duty bearers, as we would call them. But because of the limited resources and even the interest and goodwill that exists within, or lack thereof, within those who are duty bearers, there remains a gap to be filled within the communities, gaps in terms of providing social services, gaps in terms of even protecting and defending the inalienable rights of the majority population. And so NGOs come in the space to fill those gaps. So in my view, NGO then becomes an alternative leadership to those who are the duty bearers. But if you look at it from the populace, when many of them, as I have observed, when they hear the word NGO, they think big money, particularly in Africa. Many of them also think big NGOs like the United Nations, UN, AIDS, and the related. But there are those also for who the first thing that comes to mind is women, poverty, children. And if you are to ask this question in the global north, as it were, in the West Europe and the US, the first thing that would come to their mind would be Africa or South Asia, the third world countries or low economies. Thank you, Anibet.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So one thing stood out for me when you answered the question, you said NGOs are alternative leadership. And I love it so much because the government might not necessarily be able to reach all nooks and crannies, but the NGOs can do this for the government. Thank you so much for coming on the call. So I'm just going to go straight now to Mr. Lawal and just ask you, what are human rights? And what are some of the basic human rights that we should know as people?
All right, thank you so much, Shanibet. So, human rights are the rights of freedom that every human being are entitled to. And this has nothing to do with your religion, your nationality, your gender, whatever, wherever you're from. So they are basic rights that are meant for everyone in as much as you are an human being. So this includes right to life, right to education, right to health, right to expression. And so basic thing that as human, as someone living, whether you are in Nigeria, whether in Kenya, you are in Australia, China, these are rights that you should have as someone who is living and who is existing, that allows you to be able to carry out basic things that you should be you should be able to do as a man. For example, you should be able to live. You should, no one should take your life for no reason, except some conditions that might warrant that to be taken probably by government. But these are basic needs. In just simple terms, these are basic things that everyone should have access to as far as you're living. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lawal. So I'm just going to run back straight to my comment section and I'll say, how many human rights did you hear? And how many did you not hear? So can you list some of the human rights that you know, even if you heard it now from Mr. Lawal or you just know them, but he didn't mention them? Can we quickly see how many human rights that we know? So let's just see how many human rights. Let's see who is going to be our first winner for today. I'm looking out to see how many human rights that we know. Kindly mention right to life. All right, we have a winner. Thank you. Right to speech. Abubakar Tolulope. Thank you very much. So yes, there you have it. Human rights, your right to life, right to freedom, right to speech, right to go to school, right to education, and the list goes on and on. So you just need to know that as a human, you actually do have rights. Yes. And it is why you also have NGOs advocating for your rights. So thank you very much, everyone. Now we're just going to go straight to Fumi. Hi, Fumi. So what role does your NGO, in particular now Lagos Food Bank, play in adaptation and innovation to address global challenges and also make progress towards the SDGs? So maybe I could also ask you that what are some of the strategies that have been most effective in navigating difficult circumstances? I know that Lagos Food Bank fight hunger. So what are some of those strategies that you have used that are very effective in achieving your goal?
Thank you very much for um, giving us the opportunity to speak today. So for us, Lagos Food Bank is a nutrition-focused organization that is committed to fighting malnutrition, hunger, and poverty across, the vulnerable communities that we serve. And so what we've been able to do is to identify the core problems that are affecting these communities. And so through that, we created, 9 programs that cuts across food recovery, agricultural recovery, um, nutrition focused programs, and then sustenance programs. And each of these, although our core, what the SDGs we promote as what we are trying to solve is 1, 2, and 3, which is no poverty, zero hunger, and good health and well-being. But each of these programs also function in their different areas. And so, let's say an agricultural recovery now would say that cuts across the, the SDGs for 2, 12, 13, and 17. And so apart from, just focusing on the 3 that for the main organization, we've decided to, find ways to incorporate our programs into making sure that, we are making progress in moving forward the SDGs and, achieving our goals. And so one of the significant roles we've been able to play is driving policy research and awareness. So we recently, I think, published in 2022, we worked with the Harvard Law and Policy Clinic, Harvard Law School Food Law and Policy Clinic, where we, through our global partner, where we were able to give on-ground information about, food donation policies in Nigeria. And so this policy, it's called the Global Food Donation Policy for Nigeria. We're able to use our knowledge and our on-ground experience to be able to push for policies that focus on, food donation, giving legal recommendations and guides, so that it's not just about us now, it's about, all of us together. And so these policy changes would also help not just, let's say the food bank, but also other nonprofits across Nigeria. Also, raising awareness is a very, very important thing for us in the food bank. Our social media pages across different platforms, we make sure that we're constantly putting out information about, the problems that we're currently facing. Partnerships also. Currently, we're partnered with over 150 nonprofits, where, partnership is a very important part of the Lagos Food Bank. So it's not just, okay, we're serving our communities here, but we realize that the problem is spread across, the country. And so for us, what we've done is to partner with different organizations across the country to also help and assist in the ways that we can. So driving policy research, raising awareness, and ensuring partnerships is one of the ways that we've been able to move forward in the SDG goals. And then, the strategies, I think I've mentioned some of them as I have been speaking, but, we've been able to build relationships with national, international, and multilateral organizations. So what I mean by that is not just focusing on, it's so easy to say, oh, we got funding from a different country or from USAID or from somewhere different, but also looking into the country itself, partnering with organizations who are CSR driven. So that has helped us to also navigate our way in the country. You know, these organizations also want to create impact, and so by tapping into that, we're able to navigate our ways into, you know, not just Nigeria, but, you know, well, hopefully, you know, we move forward with like partnerships across the world. So yeah, that's how we've been able to play our part.
Amazing. Thank you so much for me. So one thing that stood out for me is that you have partnership with 150 non-profits. Wow. I mean, so maybe we can just do this and say congratulations and well done. You're doing such an amazing work. 150 non-profits. That's a very amazing record. Thank you so much for all that you do at Lagos Food Bank. And to you who is joining us today, if you have questions at any point, there's something that jumped at you and you'd like us to explain further or give you clarity on some of the things, please kindly use the question and answer section of this webinar to ask your questions. And at the right time, we'll be able to come back to you to give you answers to all of your questions. Thank you so very much again, Lagos Food Bank. Thank you for all the amazing work you do. And again, happy World NGO Day. You are actually the star that makes this work very amazing, colorful, and beautiful to behold. We celebrate you and all of your achievements. So let's just go over to Mr. Emmanuel. And my question to you is, we already understand how complex, challenging, and the country is at the moment, and it's not just in Nigeria; it's all over the world. In the face of these ongoing challenges, how do you see your NGO navigating and adapting to these complexities to continue the very important and vital work that you do in promoting and protecting human rights? How do you do that, considering all of the many challenges, complexities, and issues here and there? How have you been able to do this all these years, Mr. Manuel?
So thank you very much for that question again, Amiabet. I'll just be speaking in general about what you've just asked. And then I would say that in the face of challenges first are bound to occur, and they are also unpredictable. And so what would be the way out is for organizations, that's for NGOs, to focus on resilience building and sustainability as a design. And also sustainability to ensure that even beyond the organization's existence, the projects that have been implemented continue to thrive as long as those issues continue to exist. And sustainability will ensure that also that the associated risks are prepared for. So these are just, they are just two simple
Hi, Mr. Manuel. Are you still speaking? Because I cannot hear you from here.
Oh, okay, sorry. I think it's with the internet. So I talked about resilience building and also sustainability. So sustainability for the project, the organization, the NGO. Yes, thank you very much, Ibinedion, for that. Yes, thank you very much. So those were my points. They are just 2 points, 2 recommendations for us to continue to track. And this is one thing that Devatop does as an organization.
Amazing. Congratulations to you. Thank you so much for doing all the amazing work at Devaton. And we see how you build resilience and sustainable projects just to ensure that no matter the changing times, you are available, willing, and always on your game to ensure that human rights are continually advocated for. Thank you so much. And again, we celebrate you. So from all of us at Leap Africa and to you and the entire staff at Devaton, happy World NGO Day. We celebrate you and we celebrate your impact. Thank you so much. Oh yeah. So now talking about the SDGs, I'd just like to ask you, Mr. James, how does your organization forge meaningful partnerships government, businesses, and other state objectives. And as you already know, we have a 2030 target to hit some of our SDG goals. So how are you partnering with organizations, government agencies, businesses, and willing individuals to ensure that you're reaching your goal as an organization?
Thank you very much once again, Anibet. At ELF Africa, one is we have a very clearly defined. Anibet? Okay. At ELF Africa, we ensure that we have made sure that we have a very clear direction as defined within our strategic objectives. And therefore, in the point that Fumi had mentioned earlier, collaboration and partnerships become center of our work, and those two have continued to be. So we have demonstrated value and aligned our work to the SDGs. And that alignment has then ensured that we attract the like-valued partners. And those partners have come from the private sector, government itself. We work with government here in Kenya a lot, who run a program that targets young people and towards training and employment, just at achieving one of the SDGs. But we also consider government as an ally into advancing the work that we do. So for us, government is not the lethargical bureaucratic actor that used to be known or as is known out there. We consider government agencies as allies. The other thing that we do is community empowerment, because we believe that change and transformation can only be lasting and sustainable if there is ownership at the community stage. And whatever SDG we think, whatever transformation we think that our community deserves, we believe that that community needs to first of all adopt and own that particular initiative for them to be essential and long-lasting. There is also the multi-stakeholder stakeholder engagement, that there is need for us to continuously go out there and not to be limited in scope of what we do. For instance, our focus at ELF Africa is leadership and governance, through which we raise value-based leaders for today and tomorrow. But we also engage with people who are in other sectors, because we believe that that symbiotic relationship helps to achieve the goals that are espoused within the SDGs. And finally, we continuously involve ourselves in research and data, consuming data. Research that is done by ourselves, but also consuming information that has been put out there by other organizations like yourselves. And that in this research, we also collaborate in designing the research, in designing the reports, in putting them out there, so that then we contribute to the larger body of knowledge. And whoever wants to continue this work in the years to come have an information base. They are not starting from scratch. But that also allows us to measure the work that we have done, to measure the impact of what we are doing, and to ask, are we making any transformation in the communities? Because we believe in data-driven decisions. Anibet.
Thank you so much. So your last point about measuring impact and making data-driven decisions is so amazing to hear. And I thank you and celebrate you so much at ELF Africa. We congratulate you. And again, from all of us at Deep Africa, happy World NGO Day. It was such a great time having you come on board to talk about the things that we do, because you couldn't think of a better time to celebrate your work, celebrate your achievements, your collaborations, and your partnership other than today. So we decided that, you know what, today you are going to give you the spotlight to celebrate you for all the work you do in front and behind the camera. So congratulations to all of you at ELF Africa, and from all of us at Deep Africa, happy World NGO Day. So I'm just going to run back to Fumi. I know that you do such an impactful work with fighting hunger in Nigeria, Lagos State specifically. But I'm going to ask you, how does your NGO effectively measure and communicate its impact in alignment with the SDGs, ensuring transparency and accountability in your efforts? So how do you keep up? How do you manage this? And how do you even ensure that? How do you measure your impact to see that, we're getting towards achieving our goals and there is becoming zero hunger in Lagos or reduced hunger? So how do you measure this impact for me?
So for us at the Lagos Food Bank, how we do this is, so because, we run different programs, it's important for us to be able to measure each of them. And so each program has like a parameter to which they meet. So for example, our Nume Plan program, which is for It's a nutrition intervention for malnourished mothers, pregnant mothers, and children. What we do is to first to understand what the issue is, because I mean you can put an intervention out and just keep doing and keep running and then not see results at the end of the day. So we tried as much as possible to look at the different parameters. Okay, so how old are the children? That, you know, I think from 0 to 5 years is when you're able to notice, you know, malnutrition. After 5 years, it's very difficult to get back to, you know, a healthy child or a healthy mother. And so what we do is, first of all, partner with the primary healthcare centers. It is very important. So, you know, because they get a lot of vulnerable people coming to their centers because, you know, they have it's would I say cheaper to go to them. And so they refer these children and mothers to us. And from there, you know, we see how many of them were able to recover. So, you know, like between 6 months of them being referred to us, how well are they doing? And from what we've been able to see, 2 months, the kids are already, you know, getting to a certain stage where we're thinking of discharging them. And that's because, one, the parent is very important in this. And so the parent also is very serious about the life of their kid. And so we take care of the mother, we take care of the baby. And so also the results we see in the mother, like I said, within 2 to 3 months, we're already seeing results from them. And so monitoring them, they come in at least 2 times a month, depending on the severity of the case. So the timeline also matters. One, I said one of the parameters we look at is the results. So the timeline of the results. So if we're giving them a 6-month mark, within 2 months, we should have started seeing a significant change with the kid. To the seriousness of the parents, because you can try as much as possible to help someone. If they take it a step further, most times when they come, we're always very excited. Our nutrition officer, I mean, if you see videos of her, she's always very smiley. And because when she's speaking with these kids, when she's speaking with the mothers rather, she can see that they are very open to learning. They're very open to you know, moving forward with their kids. Also, the number of discharges we have. So if let's say we enroll about 50 mothers in a session, at the end of 6 months, if we're having up to 35, I think that is a good number, because that just shows that we have people that, you know, like I said, are very aware of the things that are happening with their children. And also, so yes, so different parameters we set for our education enhancement program, where we have like a school feeding program. One of the parameters we see there is, you know, the increase in the children in the classes. So we give them lunch 3 times a week. And if we see a significant improvement, so let's say we had only like 10 kids in the class before, and because now they have something to come to school for, or Lagos Food Bank is going to bring them lunch, you see them telling their friends, and their friends want to come to school. And so now we have an increase. So we will have, let's say from 10, we have 20 to 50 to 100 children in school. So that's one of the ways we look at, we were able to track the progress that we're able to make. And then in terms of communications, I'm a communications officer. And so we look at each of these programs and see, okay, what part of the impact should we communicate out? Okay, we look at the kids when, you know, from the first enrollment to when they are discharged. Is it important that we communicate that? Is it important? Why? What is the goal of our communication? The goal is to bring more awareness, one. Two is to bring more, you know, partners that would see, okay, how can we significantly make impact with these people? How can we make impact across, you know, vulnerable communities? And so the goal of your communications is very, very important. Are you trying to bring partners in to help your to push your narrative? Are you trying to bring multilateral organizations to help push your narrative? So what we've been able to do is, first of all, what is our goal? What is our priority? That was very important for us. I'm sure if people go to our Instagram, you see a lot of our different programs. Each of them have their own pages because we believe in, it's easy to shelter everything in one page. But for us, actively pushing out this narrative, and we're trying to change the narrative of Africa being the worst, of being just terrible in malnutrition, or just, we're trying to change that narrative, saying things like indigent, we're trying to change these things. So our communication is also very, very deliberate in the things we say. So as opposed to saying indigent, we'll probably say like a low cost or low income. So trying to push a narrative that we're beyond the vices, or we're beyond the insecurity that is happening in the country, is also very important for us. And so in terms of transparency, Lagos Food Bank is known for its, for being transparent. First of all, we always publish our annual report. It's always, things that we do across the year. It is very important that we put that out so people can see, this is what we've done. This is the amount of effort we've put into this. This is the amount of effort or impact that is coming out of it. Our financial statements too are very, it's very open. So it's very public. We make everything very public information so people can see that it's a collective work. It's not just one person that is doing something. I mean, you can have the passion and the vision and not, put action into it. And so these things are very important for us. And so transparency and accountability is also a very, very important thing for us here at the Lagos Food Bank, because your partners would come and see these things and, okay, they're doing a small part and they're bringing out a big part. But if you're very open and honest with everything, your structure, your procedures, it would be very, it will help you out in a lot of things that you do. So that's how we've been able to.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, I can't even, I can't go express how excited I am that something as amazing, as impactful as this is coming from Nigeria and Lagos. It's just super cool to hear all of these. And I hear you loud and clear on partnerships towards achieving your goals and achieving the SDGs. Of course, that's what the SDG 17 is for. So this is just a call to everyone listening to us at this time, that all of us here representing the different nonprofits in Nigeria, we're very much open to partnerships and collaborations to achieve the SDGs together. Don't think that we do this alone. We'll never be able to do it alone. And we need you by our side, holding each other to ensure that these SDGs are actualized before 2030. And I'm positive that we can do it, but we can't do it without your support. So this is us calling on you to partner with us and join us. So just to wrap up the conversation, I'd like to just go straight to Mr. Lawal. Now, Mr. Lawal, as we face unprecedented global challenges, the ups and downs, the inconsistencies and the rest, in what ways do your organization continue to inspire, mobilize communities, particularly young people, to actively contribute towards achieving the SDGs? How are you able to do this with the very dynamic situation that we find ourselves in at the moment?
All right. Thank you so much, Anibet, for this question. So, well, like you said, we are being faced currently with unprecedented challenges across the world. And one thing I actually thought I would be able to say when we were trying to like explain what NGO really means is the fact that for us as NGOs, yes, we are working to build society in different capacities, but also we are doing this in collaboration with the government. So there's a general perception that NGOs are always working against the government. Yes, in a way, when the government is not doing the right thing, we do that. Yeah, we advocate for the right things, but most importantly, we work majorly to support what the effort of the government, especially where there are lacunas. We come in to kind of fill this and see what we have to do. So we work with them, not actually work against them. So why am I saying this is because in the current dispensation, especially with the global challenges that we have. NGOs majorly, we are working in partnership, with government agencies, ministries and departments to see how, we can help to salvage the current challenges that are being faced. And how do we do this? Is also for us at South Africa majorly is by community mobilization. So we do a lot of community mobilization, a lot of community sensitization, advocacy, to young people from the grassroots. Yes, as much as a lot of organizations would be working on policy change and the rest of that. But yes, that is a lot of top approach. So, but we look at things also from the bottom top approach. If we have more young people, who are able to get actively involved, for example, in advocating for the sustainable development goals, taking actions to support them, being aware of the SDGs and being informed about it. It helps us to then have leaders who are able to take more actions. And for example, when I mean leaders, I'm not even talking about leaders at national level. I'm even talking about leaders, young people at in their schools, young professionals, at workplace, artisans, who by understanding what the SDG means, what it tends to achieve by 2030, can then transfer this knowledge to all the members of their reference networks. And so for us, we do the awareness creation, the education, the advocacy, to young people on this. But not just doing advocacy, we also try to also provide opportunities and platforms, that helps really drive this with young people, especially the young, when it comes to things like racing activities, racing programs, that helps them to take actions, specifically take actions. For example, we have organizations who work on issues of gender equality, for example, and this is also a major goal in the SDGs. And it's not just about just talking about this, but how many young people are really taking actions based on based on these goals. How many people are what results are we seeing? So for us, we're not just focusing on awareness creation, not just focusing on advocacy, we're also seeing how we can drive action. And for us at South Africa, because we are a tech-driven organization, yes. So I think it's better that I also say this because we are tech-driven. So majority of what we do them using technology. And where do we get majority of our youth out there? We have the use of technology have been driven majorly by young people. So we tend to use tech, for example, as a means of getting to young people, social media platforms, and a couple of other technological platforms that exist for us, to reach out to them, drive movement, build leaders, lead their leadership skills, and seeing a way whereby we can also amplify their voices, and tell the stories from their own community. So we are not just coming. So what we do is not just to go and say, okay, we have this knowledge, we just want to tell you about this, but also help them to amplify their voices in a way whereby they can tell their own stories appropriately to the world. And yeah, lastly, I would like to say this. So lastly, what we also tend to do, and I'm also relating this to the SDGs, is also that we also do not just try to raise young people or get young people who are only concerned about solving local problems. Yes, there's this perception that solutions always come from the Western world, to solve our problems here. So we are also raising leaders that are also conscious of the fact that, yes, even though we are young people, we are also capable of providing solutions that help to solve global issues. Because the SDGs is not just limited to local areas. It's a global project. It's a global thing for everyone. So we are raising young people who are so conscious of the fact that this is a global this is a global need for us. So gender equality, life underwater, life over water, workplace, industrialization, innovation, partnership for the goal, and every other goals. They are global goals. So this is one of the things we are also doing in a way for us to help in curbing the current challenges that we are facing in the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lawal. All right, thank you. So I heard you so well on leveraging technology to actualize reaching and getting the young people in our community to partner with us to achieve the SDGs. Thank you so much for all that you do, and from all of us at Deep Africa, we celebrate you. We see the good work that you do, and we're always rooting for you, and we're cheering you on all the time. Thank you so much, Fumi, for coming on the call. Thank you, Mr. Lawal. Thank you, Mr. James. Thank you, Mr. Emmanuel. And happy World NGO Day to all of us. Thank you for the amazing, amazing work that we do. So know that from all of us here, we continually cheer you on, and we're open to collaborations. We're open to partnerships to ensure that before 2030, we're hitting our SDG goals. But just before we step aside, we have some questions in the chat box, and I'd just like us to answer some of the questions that we have in the chat box. So I had seen a question about how will NGO continue to survive in these hard times. So I'd like you, Ms. Emmanuel, to please answer that question. How will the NGO continue to survive in these trying and hard times? Hi, Ms. Emmanuel. Are you speaking? You're still muted.
Yes, I didn't get your question. What was your question, sir?
Okay, so we have a question in the chat, and the person is asking, how will the NGOs continue to survive in these trying times?
Um, the first is to so NGOs are they are also known as non-profit organizations, and I say the NGOs actually make profit, and what the profit is not monetary profit, but the profit is the impact that they give to the society. So for NGOs to thrive, they need to have a lean structure and also ensure. I can see on the chat lots of people are so interested in either internship, either these are resources that can be harnessed to reach more people to achieve the goals, the mission, the objectives which the organization has set up to achieve. And you know, the NGOs are augmenting the work of the government. So in doing that, they also need to ensure that they are operational. Like I said earlier, think about what are the indicators to ensure that we are resilient. The resources we have, how long is this resources going to last us for? How do we mobilize other resources to ensure? I see what Fumi said about partnership. This is one way that you can reach more people beyond the monetary support and all that. And we also have lots of young people that could also volunteer their time to see that you achieve your goals. So these are some of the tips that I would love to share. Thank you. Hello, Fumi, are you there?
Anibet,
Sorry.
you're muted.
Okay, Anibet. Okay.
Oh, apologies. Thank you very much. Thank you. So I'd seen a question about how can one volunteer with Lagos Food Bank. For me, I know you had answered that in the comments, but I'd like you to answer that again, just so anyone else who is interested can hear you. So how can one volunteer with Lagos Food Bank?
Okay. So first of all, we have different programs that we currently run. But the first step would be to go to our website, so www.lagosfoodbank.org. We have a Become a Volunteer section. So once you click on it, there's a link. So you'd register to be a volunteer from there, and then you get subsequent updates from us on what programs you can volunteer with and how you can volunteer with us. I think one thing to note also is that we have over 24,000 volunteers currently that show up at our that help us out. You know, they're scheduled for activities, and so being a volunteer of the Lagos Food Bank is actually one of the proudest things you can be, and so we encourage you to definitely join us.
Amazing. So thank you very much, Fumi. So you heard it from Fumi. If you're looking to volunteer with Lagos Food Bank, your first step is to go to the website. And I see another one here. So how can I volunteer with Leap Africa? So we currently have many ways you can volunteer with us and in the different units of our department. So you can quickly just check out our website www.leapafrica.org, and then you'll be able to find the career button, so you navigate through and find many ways and you can volunteer with us at Deep Africa. So another question here is, aside funding from partners, how can NGOs survive even in the trying times in the economy? So I see that we're all very conscious about the time that we live in. So I'd like Mr. James to please answer this question. How will the NGOs survive outside of funding from partners?
I think that the NGOs or non-profit organizations, one, would need to pivot in some way. Pivot in the sense that we do not primarily depend on donor funding, and that doesn't need to wait for the funds from the donors to dry out. That could start now. One of the ways that could start now is through the partnerships and the grants that we are negotiating. If
Mr. James, are you there? Okay, so maybe he has some network issues. We're happy to come back to him. But let's just quickly go on to you, Mr. Emmanuel. Could you please tell us, aside from funding, how can NGOs continue to thrive and to survive?
Okay, I would still resound my point about a partnership. I'll still resign because I think one thing that is always a challenge or that is always pointed out is funding, either for nonprofit organizations and also for business organizations, startup organizations. We do also much about funding. But the thing is, funding is just a means to an end. And so if you get the funding, what do you want to do? You want to pay salaries, you want to rent a building, you want to buy t-shirts, you want to get food and all of that. So I could say that there are ways that the NGOs can try to, will I say, reach these ends without necessarily the funding. And so if you need a facility and it will cost you maybe some thousands of naira to get that facility, you could actually leverage on available resources around you. You could even use a free venue. It could be a school. So why take an activity to, let's say, a hotel, for example, when you could actually get a school around your vicinity? So they are cost-effective ways. So I would really encourage listing out those things that one needs. And surprisingly, you would even discover that there are some persons that are even available. If you're talking about the salary or the time availability, there are some individuals that are available to volunteer, to get experiences, to even maybe contribute. They may actually share in the experience of your target beneficiaries. And so they want to volunteer their time. We have a number of partner organizations, like what the Lagos Food Bank does. I mean, 24,000 volunteers. I mean, they must really have a large purse to be able to pay those 24,000 people if they actually want to pay them, right? But you see, people are interested because they believe in the cause and they can now contribute their time into seeing that maybe at some point, I mean, everyone has at some point or the other gone hungry or felt hungry. And so they feel, oh, you don't even need to go hungry to see that you could actually volunteer your time to reach out to those target beneficiaries.
All right, thank you so very much. If it was just left to me, I'd say let's continue this conversation all through the rest of today. Just because we're celebrating the impact of the work that we do, and because it's our birthdays in the NGO space. But as you know, time is not something that we can freeze and keep, except otherwise we take pictures, and pictures will not be sufficient to communicate what we'd have to say at this time. So just rounding up, let's just hear you, Mr. Lawal. So somebody has a question here for for you. And it says, how can one volunteer with your organization? And are there trainings to help NGOs leverage technology? So maybe in 50 seconds, please answer this person so we can call today a beautiful session.
All right. Yes. So, thank you so much for that question. I think I saw different questions. So, I'll just try and respond as quick as possible. Okay. So, yes, you can volunteer with South Africa Initiative for Development. You can you can go online, search for South Africa on social media and our website. Then you can just send us a mail. And apologies, my environment is getting noisy. I'm in a summit. So, but how can we train organizations? So, we do not train organizations at South Africa, but personally, I run a tech company called Co-op Solutions. It's a social impact tech company which focuses on building the capacity of social impact organizations and professionals and enthusiasts. So majorly, so we can always reach out and see how we can work things out on training of organizations and how to start organizations and the rest. And pardon me, I need to really answer a question I saw in the chat box. Somebody asked, how do you build an NGO? I would like to say not everybody have to build an NGO. You probably want to look for an existing organization that aligns with your vision and see how you can work with them or volunteer with them. And if need be that you need to build an NGO, start small. You don't have to start big. Yes, we are all seeing people taking grants of millions of dollars and all the rest. You don't have to get millions of dollars for you to be able to do something to your society or to your community. If my friend, you don't need to even start an NGO for you to do good. Just have the mind, have the heart to do something in your community and get it done. That is all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And on that powerful note, we'd like to say happy World NGO Day. You do not need to own an NGO for you to be able to make impact in your organization. So this is a charge from all of us today that in your small corner, please make an impact and ensure that you reach out to other people. And don't forget, if you have friends in the NGO space, today is a great time for you to send them a gift box, a thoughtful message, a thumbs up, and a well done, because today we're celebrating the impact of the work that we do in the NGO space. And thank you to my amazing panelists, from Fumi to Mr. Lawal to Emmanuel to Mr. James. I celebrate you all, and from all of us at Deep Africa, please enjoy yourself and congratulations on doing such an amazing work. And to you who have stayed with us today all through the conversation, we celebrate you and we thank you for your support and your partnerships to ensure that the impact of our work reach wider audience. And this is also a call for you to partner with us at Food Bank Initiative, to partner with us at Seed Africa, at Devatom, at Elf Africa, and also at Deep Africa to ensure that together we actualize the SDGs before 2030. So from all of us at Deep Africa, happy World NGO Day, and thank you so much for joining the conversation today. We wish you a very beautiful rest of the day. Bye.
Yeah, bye everyone.